The Los Angeles Dodgers have always carried an aura of intimidation, but right now, the way they are storming through the season, MLB Network analysts are calling them every team's worst nightmare heading into the playoffs. If you're a fan of drama, of dominance, and of destiny in baseball, then buckle up, because what's happening in Los Angeles is nothing short of terrifying for opponents and thrilling for Dodger Nation. Before we dive into the wild predictions, the jaw-dropping analysis, and the bold statements that have set the baseball world buzzing, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update, because this postseason is shaping up to be legendary, and you'll want every detail right here. The Dodgers, simply put, are not just winning games. They're dismantling teams, exposing weaknesses, and leaving little doubt that their eyes are fixed on October glory. When you look at this roster, you see an embarrassment of riches. Shohei Ohtani, the global superstar who can change a game with his bat at any moment, is delivering thunderous swings that leave pitchers shell-shocked. Mookie Betts, with his combination of flair, leadership, and elite performance, continues to be the tone-setter, the kind of player who doesn't just win you games but defines your culture. Freddie Freeman, calm and steady as ever, is that veteran presence who brings balance to the firepower, while young stars and role players alike keep stepping up in ways that turn this into a juggernaut. MLB Network didn't hold back when breaking down the Dodgers' playoff outlook. One analyst simply said, "If you're another team in the National League, you better hope you don't run into Los Angeles in October, because they are the team nobody wants to face." And honestly, who can argue? Year after year, the Dodgers are in the postseason mix, but this version feels different. This team doesn't just look good on paper, they're executing with ruthless efficiency. Every game looks like a statement, every series feels like a warning shot fired to the rest of the league. But what really makes them MLB's worst nightmare isn't just the stars you already know about. It's their depth. Think about this for a moment. When injuries hit, most teams panic, scramble, or fade into mediocrity. The Dodgers? They just reload. Their farm system is constantly producing players who arrive major league ready, like an endless conveyor belt of talent. That's the kind of system that doesn't just help you win this year but ensures you keep winning for years. And when analysts point to their bench players being good enough to start on other teams, you realize why opponents dread that first pitch against Los Angeles. Now, here's where it gets even scarier. MLB Network's bold predictions didn't just stop at calling the Dodgers dangerous. They went as far as saying this team could run through October in dominant fashion, maybe even steamroll their way to a championship with fewer bumps than expected. One prediction suggested that the Dodgers might not just make the World Series, but actually dominate it in a way that rewrites postseason narratives. Another analyst predicted that Ohtani, after years of individual brilliance but without team playoff glory, could finally explode on the October stage and deliver one of the most iconic postseason performances of all time. Can you imagine Ohtani in Dodger blue, slugging clutch home runs or driving in the game-winning runs in a packed Dodger Stadium under the postseason lights? That's the stuff of legends, and MLB Network is already planting the seeds of that possibility. And let's not forget about the Dodgers' pitching staff, which might be their ultimate weapon. Critics wondered earlier in the season if injuries and inconsistency would leave them vulnerable, but as the year has progressed, the rotation has stabilized and, in some cases, become lethal. Tyler Glasnow, when healthy, brings ace-level dominance, and his strikeout stuff is perfect for October baseball. Bobby Miller, the young fireballer, has shown glimpses of brilliance, and could be that breakout arm that shocks everyone in the postseason. And the bullpen? Dave Roberts has been carefully managing arms to ensure they're fresh for the most critical innings of the year. When the Dodgers roll out their pitchers in the playoffs, it's not just about having a starter and a closer. It's about wave after wave of arms, each capable of shutting down elite hitters. MLB Network analysts debated the one question that keeps coming up: who can realistically stop the Dodgers? Some pointed to the Braves, with their relentless offense, as the most likely challenger. Others mentioned the Phillies, whose power and swagger make them a tough October out. But then came the counterargument: even if you have the bats, can you truly match the Dodgers pitch for pitch, inning for inning, over the grind of a 7-game series? That's where many believe Los Angeles separates itself. Playoff baseball isn't just about star power, it's about depth, adaptability, and finding answers when games get tight. And the Dodgers are uniquely built to handle all of that. The scary part is that the Dodgers don't just win, they often make it look easy. When other teams sweat out one-run games, Los Angeles has the ability to turn a close contest into a blowout with just one explosive inning. That's what makes them MLB's nightmare. You can play them perfectly for 6 innings, and then suddenly, Betts works a walk, Freeman doubles, Ohtani homers, and the game is gone. That ability to flip momentum in an instant makes them one of the most dangerous postseason teams we've seen in recent years. But let's dive deeper into those bold predictions from MLB Network, because they didn't hold back. One analyst went on record predicting that Shohei Ohtani could hit 8 home runs in the postseason, setting a new standard for playoff dominance. Another boldly claimed that Freddie Freeman would be the one to deliver the iconic, clutch hit in a deciding game, cementing his place among Dodgers legends. There was even talk about Mookie Betts pulling off something historic, like winning both an NLCS and World Series MVP in the same October. These aren't just predictions, they're proclamations of how feared and respected this team has become. Of course, with all this hype, the question becomes whether the Dodgers can deliver. We've seen great regular season teams stumble in October before. Dodgers fans know that heartbreak all too well. The unpredictability of the postseason is what makes baseball so thrilling. One bad inning, one cold streak at the plate, and suddenly, the invincible Giants look human. MLB Network acknowledged that, too, but they emphasized one key difference. This Dodgers team has been battle-tested, they've been through the highs and lows, and they carry the experience needed to survive the chaos of October. Another fascinating part of the conversation on MLB Network was about Dave Roberts. Often criticized for postseason decisions in years past, Roberts is now seen as a manager who has grown, learned, and adapted. Analysts suggested that his handling of the bullpen and rotation this year could be the difference maker. No more overexposing pitchers, no more questionable matchups. Instead, there's a sense that Roberts has mastered the art of preparing his team for the grind, and if that's true, then the Dodgers may have eliminated one of their few historical weaknesses. Think about what this all means for the rest of the league. Imagine being a wild-card team, scratching and clawing to earn your way into the division series, only to be greeted by the Dodgers. That's the definition of a nightmare. You've already burned through your best pitchers just to get there, and now you're staring at a rested Los Angeles squad loaded with stars and arms. MLB Network even joked about it, saying, "Congratulations, you made it to October, your reward is facing the Dodgers." And really, that captures the fear perfectly. Now let's paint the picture of what Dodgers playoff baseball might look like this year. The crowd at Dodger Stadium, 50,000 strong, waving towels, chanting, living and breathing every pitch. Shohei Ohtani steps into the box, the tension thick enough to cut with a knife. The opposing pitcher tries to sneak a fastball past him, but the crack of the bat sends it soaring into the night, a no-doubt home run that sends the stadium into absolute chaos. Moments like that aren't just possible, they're expected when you're talking about this team. That's why MLB Network is so bold in their predictions, because the talent is there to make these moments reality. And let's not underestimate the intangible factor of pressure. The Dodgers thrive in the spotlight. Some teams shrink when the lights are brightest, but Los Angeles embraces it. This is a franchise that doesn't just play for wins, it plays for history. Every time they take the field in October, they carry the weight of expectations, but instead of being crushed by it, they use it as fuel. That's what makes them so dangerous. They're not running from pressure, they're hunting it down. One analyst even brought up the idea of dynasty. The Dodgers have already been one of the most consistent franchises in baseball, but another World Series title in this era, especially with Ohtani now in the fold, could mark the beginning of something even bigger. They wouldn't just be the team of the moment, they'd cement themselves as the defining franchise of this generation. That's the type of legacy that scares opponents, because you're not just playing against talent, you're playing against history in the making. Of course, The boldest prediction of all might have been the claim that the Dodgers could sweep their way through the postseason. Now, is that realistic? Baseball rarely allows for that kind of dominance, but the fact that analysts are even entertaining the idea tells you everything you need to know about how this team is viewed. Imagine a clean sweep, Ohtani hoisting the World Series MVP trophy, Betts and Freeman celebrating on the field, and the Dodgers once again on top of the baseball world. For fans in Los Angeles, that's the dream. For the rest of the league, that's the nightmare scenario that keeps them up at night. And here's the thing, it's not just about winning, it's about how they're winning. The Dodgers combine analytics, scouting, and sheer talent in a way that's unmatched. They don't just rely on their stars to carry them, they find edges in every part of the game. A defensive shift here, a pinch hitter matchup there, a bullpen move timed to perfection, all of it adds up to a team that maximizes its chances every single night. That kind of precision makes them incredibly tough to beat over a series. Dodgers fans, let this sink in. You're witnessing one of the most stacked rosters in baseball history, and MLB Network is basically telling the rest of the league, good luck, you're going to need it. These bold predictions are more than just hot takes, they're reflections of how unstoppable this team looks right now. Whether it's Ohtani's bat, Freeman's consistency, Betts' leadership, or the arms that keep mowing hitters down, the Dodgers have every weapon you could possibly want in a postseason powerhouse. So, as we head toward October, the message is clear. The Dodgers are not just contenders, they're the standard. They are the team that nobody wants to face, the team that can turn your playoff dreams into dust, the team that represents baseball's ultimate nightmare. The MLB Network has spoken, the predictions are bold, and the stage is set. Now all that's left is for Los Angeles to step onto the field and prove it. And if they do, if they fulfill the destiny that so many are already predicting, then we won't just remember the season as another Dodgers run. We'll remember it as the year the Dodgers unleashed their full power and reminded everyone that when they're at their best, there is simply no stopping them. So Dodger Nation, get ready, because October is coming, and the rest of Major League Baseball? They better prepare, because the nightmare is real, and its name is the Los Angeles Dodgers. And before we wrap this up, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and join the community as we bring you every pulse-pounding moment of this incredible season. The Dodgers are chasing history, and we'll be right here, breaking it all down for you every step of the way.